Okay, hi there, it's the great and glorious, seem to be famous one day, Nick Dutch back on the camera yet again. Hi there, how's it going? I just want to return to the two principal apparent or alleged or seeming evidences for supernatural reality or apparent reality. I mean, number one, there's spiritual healing. Now, I object to the use of the word healing because it seems to imply that there can be results which can be obtained 110% reliably, and it is a cure and it is a medical treatment, which I think is difficult for us to be able to say because we don't have enough statistical tests done on people doing healing and people receiving healing, and indeed enough medical investigation of people who have received healing to see whether there has actually been a significant improvement. There have been some studies which suggest yes, there are some benefits. There are some studies which suggest no, there aren't any benefits. I would say that probably most of these studies, both pro and con, have been biased one way or another. And I would like to see some more objective studies being done. But I also want the idea of healing as in curing or healing as in a medical thing sort of taken out of the equation. When I've done healings on people, they have felt heat coming out of my hands. Not 110% reliably. I mean, I've observed that when I've got a cold, when I'm ill, if I haven't slept enough, if I haven't been doing enough exercise or enough meditation beforehand, it's less likely that they're going to feel the energy coming out of my hands. Also, if they're too healthy, and it appears to me that they're giving off more energy, so to speak, than I'm capable of putting into them, they also don't seem to feel the actual energy, so to speak. But there is a certain quantity of people who do seem to feel this apparent energy. The other one is, of course, the use of astral projection exercises to transmit an idea or a message from yourself when you're in rest or in meditation to somebody else when they're in rest or in sleep or in meditation. And that also seems to yield some results, but just like with the healing exercise, there's also a certain quantity of misfires. But the fact that there are some apparent results suggests that it would be theoretically possible with large enough sample sizes and a robust enough, rigid enough structure on how these the type of astral projection, telepathy type exercise could be done. If that was laid down, it would be probable, in my estimation, to be able to get statistically significant results. The main problem we've got with both the spiritual healing exercise and with the astral projection remote viewing exercise is an objectivity of analysis, an objectivity of criticism of the data. That's essentially what needs to be done, and it will also have to be longitudinal, have to go on for a long period of time before we can make any assessment as to whether the results are reliable and trustworthy or not. But these are things that one can try at home with enough practice and experience. I mentioned it in my previous video, get the book called The Projection of the Astral Body by Sylvan Muldoon and Harry Carrington. It is an amazing book, and I think it'll show you a lot about the traditions and ideas surrounding astral projection. So that's definitely something for your reading list. And as far as spiritual healing is concerned, I recommend the books by Barbara Ann Brennan, which are a bit too angel, crystal, and soft and fluffy new agey rather than hard and fast science. But Barbara Ann Brennan is supposed to be a doctor of, I think, atmospheric physics and knows a fair thing about the natural world anyway, so she's quite an interesting source to look at and to refer to. But I certainly don't want to get your hopes up too high and say that the results can happen reliably. This is more something to experiment with and to try and experience, primarily for the hell of it, rather than to say that, yes, we're going to get some concrete results. But anyway, those are my views on the subject. Good fortune, God and or Goddess and or none of the above bless. Nick Dutch signing out for now.